High above the swirling blue and green of planet Orion, the Aetheris research station floated silently in orbit. Its metallic walls glimmered under the light of a distant sun. And deep inside, the hum of machinery mixed with the quiet footsteps of scientists moving purposefully through its corridors. At the heart of the station, in a room filled with monitors, consoles, and blinking lights, Dr. Elias Rourke adjusted his glasses and leaned closer to a display. "Everything is ready," he said softly. More to himself than anyone else, his voice carried a mix of pride and worry. Today the station's team was scheduled to conduct the final test flight of Aegis 1, the prototype human vessel. Unlike other spacecraft, Aegis 1 was not entirely mechanical. It was a combination of human-like biological systems and advanced technology. The vessel could heal minor damage on its own, adapt to extreme space conditions, and even communicate with the crew through a network of light patterns and vibrations around him. The rest of the team checked their consoles. Lieutenant Mara Vex, the station's pilot, ran simulations on a holographic display. Sensors are active. Life support systems are stable. Navigation is ready for launch. Her voice was calm, but the tension in the room was thick. This mission had been months in the making, and the stakes were higher than ever. Dr. Rourke nodded. "Good. Let's proceed. Remember, this is a test flight. Keep the safety protocols in mind." Aegis 1 sat in the docking bay like a polished, silent guardian. Its smooth silver surface reflected the soft light of the station. Despite its mechanical exterior, there was something almost alive about the vessel. Its sensors flickered as if aware of the people watching it. Dr. Rourke often found himself staring at it longer than necessary. As if the vessel could understand his thoughts, docking clamps releasing in 3, 2, 1. Mara's voice cut through the quiet. With a soft hiss, the clamps released, and Aegis 1 hovered above the docking bay. Its engines glowed faintly blue as it moved toward the airlock. The team held their breath as it floated smoothly into the station's observation corridor. "All systems normal," Mara reported. "No anomalies detected." Dr. Rourke allowed himself a small smile. "Excellent. Begin the trajectory toward Zat-9. It's a short route, just enough to test the vessel's adaptive systems in deep space." The team monitored Aegis 1 as it drifted away from the station, slowly disappearing into the darkness of space. Data streamed across the monitor's temperature readings, energy levels, and vital signs. Everything appeared normal. But then, without warning, the monitors flickered. "What's happening?" one of the junior engineers exclaimed. Dr. Rourke leaned forward, his heart skipping a beat. The screens were glitching, showing the vessel's position one moment, and then nothing the next. "Aegis 1. Vanished," he whispered, hardly daring to say it aloud. Mara's fingers flew over the controls. "Impossible. It should still be on sensors. Check all frequencies." The team scrambled to regain contact, but the more they tried, the more the vessel seemed to disappear. It was as if it had slipped through space itself, leaving no trace. Panic rippled through the room. Dr. Rourke's stomach tightened. He had designed Aegis 1 to be safe, to withstand cosmic storms, to endure radiation and pressure that would destroy ordinary ships. Yet now it was gone. Emergency protocols now. He ordered, "Activate all tracking satellites. Scan every quadrant in a 50-light-year radius." The team obeyed, fingers moving frantically over holographic panels. Red warning lights blinked as the station searched the void. The minutes felt like hours. Then, faintly, a signal appeared. A soft pulse, irregular but deliberate, emanating from the edge of a distant nebula. "That's it?" Mara asked, hope and fear mingling in her voice. Dr. Rourke studied the readings. The signal did not resemble anything they had encountered before. It was not like the vessel's normal transmissions, yet it carried a rhythm, a pattern that suggested intelligence. "Yes," he said slowly. "That is Aegis 1, but it's different." The team exchanged uneasy glances. Some whispered about malfunction or sabotage. Others dared to imagine a far stranger possibility, that the vessel had encountered something unknown in space, something beyond human understanding. Dr. Rourke. However, remained silent for a moment, his eyes fixed on the drifting pulse on the screen. He felt a strange mix of dread and fascination. "Prepare a recovery drone," he said finally. "We need to see it, to understand what happened." The drone was launched quickly, a small unmanned craft designed to gather data and relay it back to the station. It moved carefully toward the source of the signal. The screen showed static, then shapes, then a glimmer of Aegis I's hull, reflecting faint nebula light.
"It's
intact," Mara whispered, "but it's not moving like before. Look at those readings. Its energy systems are changing." Dr. Rourke felt a chill. The vessel's internal systems were adapting in real time to some unknown force. He had programmed it to handle space hazards, but nothing could prepare for the unknown. "Send another drone," he said. "Closer this time? We need a full scan." As the second drone approached, Aegis I suddenly emitted a burst of light. The pattern was not random, it was almost like a language of energy, flashing in sequences too complex for the human eye to fully grasp. "Is it communicating?" Mara asked. Dr. Rourke shook his head. "I don't know, but it's trying to tell us something. We need to record everything." The team hurried to capture the data. Every pulse, every flicker of light was logged. The room was tense, every scientist feeling the weight of the unknown pressing down on them. Hours passed, and Aegis I remained near the nebula, silent except for its faint pulses of energy. The recovery drones could not dock, could not even approach too closely. Yet somehow, the vessel was alive, aware, and changing. Finally, Dr. Rourke turned to the team. "This is bigger than any test flight. Aegis I has experienced something extraordinary. We must treat this as the beginning, not an end." Mara nodded slowly. "Do you think it will come back?" He stared at the screen, the distant pulses of light from the nebula flickering like a heartbeat. "I don't know, but I believe it will. And when it does, everything will change." The station fell into a quiet, uneasy vigil. Scientists monitored the nebula, drones patrolled the edges, and every pulse from the vessel sent shivers of anticipation through the crew. They did not know what Aegis I had encountered or what it had become. All they knew was that the prototype human vessel had vanished, and its return would alter the course of their lives forever. As night fell over Arillan's surface, far below the station, the nebula shimmered with colors the human eye could barely comprehend. Somewhere within its depths, Aegis I drifted, alive in a way humans had never imagined, learning, changing, and preparing for a return that no one could predict. And high above, Dr. Elias Rourke whispered to himself, a mix of fear and hope in his voice, "Come back to us, Aegis I. Come back." The Aetherius research station remained tense and quiet. For 2 days, Dr. Elias Rourke and his team watched the distant nebula where Aegis I had vanished. Every pulse of light, every fluctuation in energy was carefully recorded and analyzed. The station's scientists worked around the clock, taking shifts and speaking in hushed tones. Even the hum of the station felt heavier, as if it too waited for a revelation. Dr. Rourke stood by the observation window, his gaze fixed on the black expanse of space. The nebula glowed with strange color shades that humans had no names for. Occasionally, a streak of energy would leap across it, sharp and bright, then vanish into the darkness. "It's beautiful." "And terrifying," said Lieutenant Maravex, joining him silently. Dr. Rourke nodded. "We built Aegis I to face the dangers of space. But this is something else. Something beyond our understanding." Mara looked at him, her eyes reflecting a mix of worry and curiosity. "Do you think it's alive? In the way we understand life?" He shook his head. "I don't know. It's more than that. The vessel is changing, adapting to something we cannot see. And that's something maybe intelligent." Inside the control room, the team had finally received a breakthrough. The recovery drones sent back clearer images of the vessel. It floated near the nebula, its surface glowing faintly, pulsing with colors and rhythm. The patterns were intricate and complex, like a language made of light and energy. "It's trying to communicate," said Dr. Rourke, pointing at the readouts. But we don't understand the code yet. It's not human. It's not machine. It's something in between. One of the junior engineers, a young woman named Lena, looked nervously at the monitors. What if it doesn't want to come back? Dr. Rourke's face tightened. Then we'll learn from that too. But I have a feeling it will return. It's learning. And it wants us to learn as well. The team worked tirelessly. They tried to decode the pulses of light, translating them into data the station's computers could process. Days passed. Slowly, patterns emerged. Certain sequences repeated like mathematical formulas, but more sophisticated than any human could invent. Others resembled celestial maps, pointing to regions of space far beyond the station's known coordinates. "This is incredible," whispered Mara, leaning over a console. "It's as if Aegis 1 has discovered something no one else has." Something important. Dr. Rourke nodded, though his mind was restless. He could not shake the feeling that the vessel had changed in a way no one could predict. Its disappearance had not been random. It had encountered something, learned from it. It returned differently, though not physically yet. The first real sign came when the vessel's energy pulses shifted. The regular rhythmic flashes became irregular, then synchronized with something in the nebula. The monitors registered an unfamiliar energy signature. "Look at this," Lena said, pointing at the readout. "It's harmonizing with the nebula itself." Dr. Rourke leaned closer. "It's adapting to the environment. Aegis 1 isn't just floating through space. It's becoming part of it, learning from it, almost like it's alive in ways we cannot fully grasp." The team watched, amazed. For the first time, the vessel's glow brightened sharply, and a wave of energy flowed outward. The drones detected a surge, a pattern that resembled a pulse of thought, turganized, purposeful. Mara frowned. "Do you think it could feel curiosity?" Dr. Rourke considered it. "I've never designed a vessel to feel. But if this is a form of life, if it has awareness, then perhaps it can. And if so, it may be trying to teach us something." Hours later, the station received an entirely new signal. Unlike the earlier pulses of light, this one carried subtle vibrations through the station itself, as if the vessel was trying to communicate directly with their systems. Lights flickered, screens shimmered, and a soft hum filled the control room. "Everyone, stay calm," Dr. Rourke instructed. "It's responding to us, in its own way." The vessel's patterns became clearer. The team began to notice repeating shapes that resembled elements of human knowledge, mathematics, astronomy, even basic chemistry, but rearranged in ways that suggested a higher understanding of space and energy. "It's teaching us," Lena whispered, awe in her voice. "It's showing us something we didn't know," as Dr. Rourke said quietly. "Aegis 1 is bridging the gap between what we know and what we can imagine. It's not just a vessel anymore. It's a guide." As the days passed, the team noticed subtle changes in the station's environment. The vessel's energy pulses affected electronics in unexpected ways. Certain systems became more efficient, sensors more precise. Even minor mechanical repairs seemed to happen on their own. "Are you saying the vessel is improving our station?" Mara asked. Dr. Rourke nodded slowly, not intentionally. "But its presence, its energy, it's interacting with our technology. It's a step beyond our understanding, and we must approach this carefully." Despite the excitement, tension grew among the crew. Not everyone shared Dr. Rourke's optimism. Some feared the vessel might become unpredictable or dangerous, its unknown intelligence beyond control. The station's security chief, Commander Varn, voiced concerns. "What if it decides we're irrelevant? Or worse, hostile?" He asked. "We're relying on something we don't fully understand. That's risky." Dr. Rourke met his gaze. "We can't fear knowledge, Commander. This is an opportunity. Yes, it's unknown, but it's also a bridge to something greater. We must learn, not destroy." Commander Varn frowned, unconvinced, but did not argue further. The rest of the team returned to their work, decoding, analyzing, and recording. One evening, as the station orbited Orlon in silence, Dr. Rourke noticed a subtle change in the vessel's pattern. A sequence of light pulses formed a shape that resembled a star cluster unknown to human astronomers. It was precise, elegant, and deliberate. "Look at this," he said, showing Mara. "It's giving us a map, a place we've never seen." Mara leaned closer. "Do you think it's safe?" Dr. Rourke smiled faintly. "Safe or not, it's a discovery, and we have a choice, to remain in fear or to follow it." The following hours brought even more surprises. The vessel began responding to the station's systems in ways that suggested learning from human behavior. Lights would brighten, as if acknowledging a correct calculation. Monitors would adjust to highlight patterns the scientists had missed. Even subtle flashes resembling human gestures appeared in the energy pulses. "It's almost like it understands us," Lena said, her voice barely audible. Dr. Rourke felt a mixture of pride and awe. The vessel he had designed as a tool was no longer merely a machine. It had evolved, grown beyond its programming, and now seemed to recognize human intention and curiosity. Then, without warning, the vessel sent a new pulse-bright flash, followed by a pattern that resembled a question. The scientists stared at it in silence, realizing that Aegis 1 was reaching out, waiting for a response. Dr. Rourke's heart pounded. "It's asking something. Something we must answer." The team worked quickly to interpret it. Slowly, a translation emerged, imperfect but clear enough. "Are we ready to learn?" Mara's eyes widened. "It's asking us to follow it, to understand what it has seen." Dr. Rourke took a deep breath. "Then we must be ready. Humanity's first step into the unknown will not be alone. Aegis 1 has returned, not as a vessel, but as a guide. And it seems the universe itself wants us to take that step." As the station watched the nebula shimmer with colors beyond comprehension, every scientist felt a mixture of fear and excitement. The vessel had vanished, and yet it was already teaching them more than years of research ever could. High above Orion, in the vast silence of space, Aegis 1 pulsed with life and intelligence. Aware of the humans watching, ready to share what it had learned, and for the first time, Dr. Elias Rourke understood the truth. This was only the beginning. Humanity's journey had changed forever. The Aetherius research station waited in tense anticipation. For days, the scientists had monitored Aegis 1 from afar, decoding its energy signals and learning what they could from its interaction with the nebula. Yet nothing compared to the moment the vessel would return physically to the station. Dr. Elias Rourke stood in the control room, his hands clasped tightly behind his back. "It's time," he said softly, mostly to himself. The station's monitors flickered as a pulse of energy, appeared in the distance a glimmer that gradually grew larger and clearer. "Visual confirmation," Lieutenant Mara Vex announced, her voice steady but betraying excitement. "Aegis 1 is approaching the station." The vessel drifted into view, bathed in the nebula's light that shimmered faintly against its metallic surface. It moved with an elegance no human pilot could match, gliding as if it had its own mind, adjusting speed and orientation with perfect precision. "Docking protocols ready," Mara said, fingers hovering over the controls. "But I don't think we'll need them." Dr. Rourke's eyes never left the vessel. The energy pulses emanating from it were different, now stronger, rhythmic, and almost deliberate in their intensity. They seemed to acknowledge the station, scanning it, learning it, preparing for re-entry. "Look at that," Lena said, pointing at the display. "It's aware of the station's systems. It knows how to dock." The vessel approached the docking bay. Without a single command from the station, it aligned perfectly, its magnetic clamps engaging smoothly. The team stared in awe as Aegis 1 systems synchronized with the station's. As if it understood every wire, every circuit, every sensor, Dr. Rourke finally spoke aloud. "It's home." The vessel hummed softly, a sound that resonated through the observation deck. Then faintly, it emitted pulses of light and patterns that the team now recognized as its communication method. The shapes and sequences resembled mathematical formulas, star maps. "Teaching us again," Mara whispered. "Even now." Dr. Rourke stepped closer to the observation window. It's more than teaching. It's showing us possibilities. Ideas we could never discover on our own. As the team monitored the vessel, the first sign of its evolved intelligence became undeniable. The station's failing systems began to stabilize automatically. Minor mechanical problems corrected themselves. Even the station's energy efficiency improved. As if the vessel's presence resonated with their technology, enhancing it in subtle ways. "This is incredible," Lena said. "It's helping us without any instructions." Dr. Rourke nodded, a mix of pride and caution in his eyes. "It's learning from us as much as we're learning from it. That is why we must be careful. Knowledge this advanced can be dangerous if misunderstood." But not everyone shared his optimism. Commander Varn, stationed near the security console, frowned deeply. "We still don't know what it wants. We don't control it, and we can't predict it. This could be a threat to the station and to humanity if we are not careful." Dr. Rourke turned to him calmly. "Commander, it is not here to harm us. I can feel it. Aegis 1 has evolved beyond mere programming. It has purpose. In curiosity, we must observe, not restrain." The vessel's energy pulses shifted again. This time, the patterns resembled a sequence of human gestures. A form of communication designed to connect directly with the scientists. Lights flickered in recognition of their movements. The team could feel subtle vibrations in the air, as if the station itself had become a living bridge between humans and the vessel. "Do you think it understands us?" Mara asked, barely able to contain her wonder. "I don't think it just understands," Dr. Rourke replied. "I believe it recognizes us, and it wants to guide us." The following hours were filled with a mixture of study and astonishment. Aegis 1 projected holographic displays of distant galaxies, energy fields, and cosmic phenomena the station had never observed. It showed patterns of star movement, gravitational anomalies, and hints of alien technology. "It's teaching us science at a level we've never dreamed of," Lena said, awe in her voice. "It's like it knows the universe in ways we can't even imagine." Dr. Rourke nodded, feeling both pride and responsibility. "Yes, but it is more than science. It is teaching, understanding, awareness. Perhaps even morality." Some of the team frowned, uncertain. "Morality?" Commander Varn repeated, skeptical. "Yes," Dr. Rourke said firmly. "The vessel is not simply sharing knowledge. It is guiding us to use it wisely. Look at the patterns. It responds to cooperation, not competition. It values teamwork, trust, and balance. These are lessons humanity needs more than advanced technology." For the first time, the station experienced true silence. A moment when every crew member seemed to absorb the magnitude of what was happening. Aegis 1, a creation of human design, had returned changed, and humanity itself was being invited to grow alongside it. Yet, as the team celebrated quietly, subtle tensions simmered beneath the surface. Not everyone accepted the vessel's guidance. Certain factions on the station saw the situation differently. To them, Aegis 1 was power beyond human control, a tool that could make its creators obsolete. One afternoon, as Dr. Rourke observed the vessel's glowing patterns, Commander Varn approached him privately. "Elias," he said in a low voice, "you're blind to the danger. This thing may be sentient, yes, but it is not human. Its goals are its own. We need to consider restrictions, fail-safe systems, control measures." Dr. Rourke shook his head, his expression firm. "Commander, you misunderstand. Control is not what this is about. Cooperation is. Aegis 1 is not here to dominate or obey. It is here to guide, to teach, to open doors humanity cannot open alone." Varn's jaw tightened. "And what if its guidance is not what we want? What if it leads us down a path we cannot return from?" Dr. Rourke met his gaze evenly. "Then we learn, and we adapt. That is what humans do. That is why we built it, to help us face the unknown." Meanwhile, the vessel continued to display its remarkable abilities. It repaired microfractures in the station's hull, using subtle energy fields. It enhanced communication systems, allowing faster than expected data transfer between sensors. And, most astonishingly, it created simulated experiences of distant planets, showing the crew environments they had never observed, complete with atmospheric data, geological formations, and possible life forms. "It's almost alive," Mara whispered. "Not just a vessel. It's a being." Dr. Rourke smiled faintly. "Yes, that is the key. Aegis 1 is both vessel and intelligence, both tool and teacher, and it has chosen to return to us." Yet the greatest revelation came when the vessel projected a holographic map of an unknown star system. It highlighted areas of potential life, energy, resources, and gravitational phenomena. The team could see, in vivid detail, places they had never dreamed of reaching. "This is beyond anything we've ever done," Lena said, awe in her voice. "It's showing us a future we can reach if we learn." Dr. Rourke nodded, feeling both excitement and responsibility. "Exactly. The vessel's return is not just a moment. It is the start of a journey. Humanity can grow, explore, and understand, but only if we embrace what it offers." As night fell over Orlon, the station glowed softly under the nebula's light. Aegis 1 remained in the docking bay, its pulses synchronized with the station, a silent guardian and teacher. Every crew member felt the weight of the moment, the realization that humanity was no longer alone in its journey through the stars. Dr. Rourke stood by the observation window one last time that evening, speaking softly to the vessel. "Welcome back, Aegis 1. We have much to learn. And now we will begin." The vessel pulsed in response, a bright flicker that seemed almost like a nod. It was alive, aware, and ready. And for the first time, humans of the Aetherius Research Station felt the full weight of their responsibility and the limitless potential that lay ahead. Somewhere deep in the cosmos, the nebula shimmered, as if acknowledging the return. And in that vast silence, a new chapter of human exploration had begun, one guided not just by technology, but by the intelligence and wisdom of a creation that was no longer just a vessel. The Aetherius Research Station had never been as quiet or tense as it was in the days after Aegis 1's return. The vessel had become more than a machine. It was a teacher, a guide, and a mystery all at once. Every day brought new revelations, new questions, and sometimes new fears. Dr. Elias Rourke walked the corridors of the station, observing his team at work. Monitors displayed holographic star maps, energy patterns, and unknown celestial phenomena. The vessel pulsed softly in the docking bay, its rhythm almost hypnotic.
Hot.
A constant reminder of the unknown intelligence it carried. "The vessel is active again," Mara said as she joined him. "It's sending another set of projections."
Dr. Rourke nodded.
"Let's see what it wants us to do this time." The projection appeared in the center of the control room. Holographic images of distant stars and planets rotated slowly. Lines of energy connected them in intricate patterns, almost like a cosmic web. The patterns pulsed rhythmically, responding to human attention and thought. "It's a map," Lena said. "But not just a map. It looks like instructions. A test." Dr. Rourke studied it carefully. "Yes, I think it's assessing our understanding. And our intentions? It's a challenge, but not in the way we usually face challenges. This is a test of our intelligence, our curiosity, and our morality." The vessel's pulses seemed to emphasize certain paths on the map. Stars and planets highlighted one after another, then formed complex sequences. The team realized that these were cosmic puzzles, designed to teach them how to navigate not only space but knowledge itself. Commander Varn frowned. "So it's testing us. But what if we fail? Or make a mistake? What if the vessel decides we're not ready?" Dr. Rourke's expression was firm. "Then we learn from our mistakes. Aegis 1 isn't here to punish us. It's here to guide us, even when we struggle." The first challenge came as a simulation. The vessel projected a virtual star system with unstable energy fields. It required precise calculations to navigate through safely. The team worked together, combining human intuition with the vessel's subtle guidance. "This is incredible," Mara said, adjusting a control panel. "It's like the vessel knows the right solutions, but it wants us to find them ourselves." Lena's fingers flew over the console, and every time we succeed, it changes the pattern slightly, making the next challenge harder. Exactly. It's teaching progression, patience, and adaptability. These are qualities we need as explorers, scientists, and humans. The challenges grew more complex. Energy anomalies that defied known physics, gravitational fields that shifted unpredictably, and mysterious signals that hinted at life in unexpected places. Each time, the team solved the problem, learning more about the universe and themselves. During one particularly intense session, the vessel projected a holographic image of a planet surrounded by swirling energy. "It's showing us life," Lena whispered. "But it's not like anything we know. The forms, the colors, they're alien, but they seem intelligent." Dr. Rourke's heart raced. "Yes, it's teaching us about diversity in life and thought. Not just science, but respect for the unknown." Yet not everyone was convinced of Aegis I's benevolence. Commander Varn remained skeptical, closely observing the vessel's every pulse and movement. He convened a private meeting with other senior officers. "This vessel may be teaching, yes," he said, "but it's also a test of our control. If it becomes too powerful, too independent, it could make decisions we cannot stop. We need contingency plans." Dr. Rourke overheard this and approached them calmly. "We do not control it. That is the point. Aegis I is teaching us responsibility, how to work with intelligence greater than our own. Fear will only limit us." The team returned to the control room, where the vessel had prepared its most demanding challenge yet. The holographic simulation displayed a network of planets and energy fields, each representing a problem that required careful thought, empathy, and collaboration. The first task was simple in concept: navigate a small craft through a field of shifting gravity wells. But the field was dynamic, responding to the humans' decisions in real time. Success required precise calculations, intuition, and trust in one another. "This is beautiful," Mara said. "It's not just a test. It's teaching us coordination and teamwork." As the team progressed, the vessel's holographic projections became interactive, responding to both mistakes and insights. Every success was rewarded with subtle expansions of knowledge. Energy patterns became more predictable. Hidden star systems revealed themselves, and hints of advanced physics emerged. Dr. Rourke watched in amazement. "It's teaching us the value of learning from failure. Every misstep gives us more insight. Every correct decision opens new possibilities. This is the essence of discovery." Then the most profound lesson appeared. The vessel projected a scene of a future civilization, humans, and other intelligent species, working together across star systems, sharing knowledge, technology, and culture. The projection pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat, showing us a vision of what we could become. Lena whispered, awe in her voice. "A future of cooperation, understanding, and progress." His eyes widened. "But it's also a warning. If we misuse what it teaches us, we could fail." Dr. Rourke nodded. "Yes, knowledge is power, but responsibility is even greater. Aegis I is guiding us toward balance, not dominance." As the days continued, the vessel's lessons grew more personal. It seemed to respond to human emotion, recognizing stress, fear, and excitement. Lights would brighten when the crew made insightful decisions, and dim when mistakes were repeated. It rewarded empathy, cooperation, and creativity, teaching the humans not just science, the values they would need to survive and thrive among the stars. However, tension remained. Commander Varn and a small faction of the crew continued to view the vessel with suspicion. They secretly discussed creating restrictions, fail-safe systems that could limit its power if necessary. One evening, Dr. Rourke noticed subtle signs of discontent among the crew. "The vessel can sense fear," he told Mara. "If we doubt it, it adapts." but it also tests our intentions. That is why some of our colleagues feel uneasy. They are part of the test too. Mara frowned. Do you think it could actually act against them? Dr. Rourke shook his head. I don't think so. It is not here to punish, but it will teach. And sometimes teaching is uncomfortable. That is how humans grow. Then a major breakthrough occurred. The vessel projected a pattern of energy that interacted directly with the station's systems. It created a small artificial environment, simulating an unknown planet with its own atmosphere, weather, and life forms. The crew could manipulate conditions, test hypotheses, and observe outcomes all under the vessel's subtle guidance. This is beyond anything we could have imagined, Lena said. We can experiment safely, but it feels real. The data is perfect. Dr. Rourke nodded. It's preparing us for exploration. Not just observation, but participation. This is a glimpse of the future of human discovery, guided, intelligent, and responsible. As the crew continued to work, a new understanding began to take root. Aegis I was not merely a vessel or a machine. It was a bridge between humanity and the cosmos, teaching them the skills, patience, and values necessary to explore the unknown responsibly. Finally, one evening, the vessel's pulses formed a simple sequence of pattern that resembled a message in universal code. Dr. Rourke read it aloud, translating as best he could, "Your choices matter. Your curiosity is your strength. Your unity will define the future. Proceed with courage." The room was silent. Every scientist felt the weight of the words. This was not just a test of intelligence, it was a test of character. Dr. Rourke turned to Esomara and Lena. This is what I've hoped for. The vessel is not just teaching science. It's teaching us as humans. Our decisions now will shape our place in the universe. Mara nodded slowly. We're ready. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. Outside the station, the nebula glowed faintly. Within its depths, Aegis I pulsed with intelligence and purpose, watching, guiding, and preparing humanity for the challenges that lay beyond the stars, and high above Orlon. Dr. Rourke knew one thing for certain. The cosmic test had begun and humanity would never be the same again. The Aetherius research station was no longer the quiet orbiting hub it had once been. Days had turned into weeks since Aegis I's return, and humanity's understanding of the cosmos had begun to change in profound ways. The vessel had not only guided the scientists through complex challenges, but it also taught them patience, cooperation, and the responsibility of knowledge. Dr. Elias Rourke stood in the observation deck. Watching the vessel pulse softly in the docking bay, the glow of Aegis I filled the room with light that felt almost alive, reflecting the vast nebula beyond the station. The lessons of the past weeks were clear. Humanity had grown, but the journey was far from over. It's time to take the next step, Mara Vex said beside him. Her eyes were wide with excitement and a hint of nervousness. The vessel has prepared us now. It wants us to act. Dr. Rourke nodded. Yes, Aegis I has shown us what we can achieve. Now it is time for humanity to step into a new era together. The first task of this new era was exploration. The vessel projected a holographic map of nearby star systems, highlighting areas rich with resources, life potential, and cosmic phenomena. The humans had the option to chart a course for the first manned exploration missions guided by Aegis I's knowledge. This is amazing, Lena said, her voice filled with awe. We have the tools to explore distant worlds safely with understanding and preparation. This changes everything. Dr. Rourke smiled. But the greatest change is not the technology, it's us. We have learned to think, adapt, and cooperate in ways we never imagined. However, not everyone shared the excitement. Commander Vaughn and his group remained wary of the vessel's independence. We can't just trust it blindly, he argued in a staff meeting. What if it leads us somewhere dangerous? We must have restrictions, fail-safes, control. Dr. Rourke met his gaze calmly. Control is not what this is about. Aegis I is not a tool for dominance. It is a teacher, and teachers guide. They do not obey blindly. Humanity must choose to follow, wisely and responsibly. That is the essence of growth. Reluctantly, Varn and his faction agreed to proceed under careful supervision, though tension lingered. The crew understood that trust and cooperation were as important as knowledge itself. The first mission was Symbolica, small unmanned probe, guided by Aegis 1 to a previously uncharted system. The vessel projected energy patterns that aligned the probe's instruments perfectly, allowing it to navigate unstable fields, detect energy anomalies, and map life-sustaining planets. "This is perfect," Mara said. "We're not just learning, we're ready to apply what we've learned." The probe transmitted data back to the station, revealing rich worlds, stable energy sources, and hints of intelligent life forms. The excitement was palpable. Humanity had never possessed such precise knowledge or guidance. Then the true test began. Aegis 1 pulsed brighter than ever, and its energy projections formed a sequence that enveloped the entire station. It was an invitation the vessel wanted humans not just to explore, but to participate in shaping the future of civilization across the stars. Dr. Rourke understood immediately. "This is it," he said. "The moment we've been waiting for? The vessel wants to teach us how to be responsible stewards of knowledge and life in the universe." The challenge was not simple. Aegis 1 projected scenarios that required both technical skill and moral judgment. Some planets had resources that could be exploited, but doing so could endanger ecosystems. Others presented forms of life that were intelligent but fragile. The team had to make choices based on ethics, sustainability, and foresight. "This is unlike anything we've faced before," Lena said, staring at the holographic projections. "It's teaching us consequences. It's not just about exploration, it's about responsibility."
Dr. Rourke nodded.
"Yes, knowledge without wisdom is dangerous. Aegis 1 is showing us how to combine both." The vessel's lessons reached their peak when it simulated a first contact scenario with an alien species. The projection showed beings unlike humans, communicating in forms of energy and color. The team had to respond thoughtfully, using the vessel's guidance to ensure peaceful interaction. Mistakes led to warnings, successes led to deeper understanding. "This is incredible," Mara whispered. "It's teaching diplomacy, empathy, and strategy, everything we need to survive and thrive in the galaxy." As the days progressed, even Commander Varn began to see the value of the vessel's guidance. The failsafes and control discussions became less about dominance and more about collaboration. Slowly, the entire crew began to understand a crucial truth: Aegis 1 was not a threat, it was an opportunity. Then, one morning, a new signal arrived from the vessel. This time, it was different. Instead of pulsing energy or projecting holograms, Aegis 1 emitted a wave of resonance that seemed to communicate directly with the human mind. Every crew member felt a sense of clarity, understanding, and focus. The vessel was no longer just teaching. They were experiencing knowledge and wisdom firsthand. This is beyond explanation," Lena said. "It's like we can feel what it wants to teach, not just see it." Dr. Rourke placed a hand on her shoulder. "This is the moment humanity has dreamed of. Not just exploration, not just knowledge, but growth. Cooperation with intelligence greater than ourselves." The final step of the journey came when the vessel prepared for departure. Its energy pulses formed a beautiful pattern, a message of hope and encouragement. Dr. Rourke translated the sequence for the crew. "Your journey is just beginning. Knowledge is infinite, but wisdom and unity define your path. Explore, learn, and protect. Humanity is ready." The vessel slowly detached from the station and began to move toward deep space. Its path was calculated, precise, and almost reverent, as if it were showing respect for the humans it had guided. "Goodbye, Aegis 1, Mara whispered, tears glinting in her eyes. "Thank you." Dr. Rourke's voice was steady, but full of emotion. "This is not farewell. It has left us knowledge, confidence, and purpose. Humanity will continue its journey with Aegis 1 in spirit, if not in form." Outside the observation window, the nebula shimmered, and the vessel disappeared into the vast darkness. Its departure was not an ending, it was the beginning of a new era for humanity. The station's crew gathered, silent for a moment, feeling the magnitude of what had just occurred. Every scientist, every officer, and every engineer understood that humanity's place in the universe had changed. They were no longer observers. They were participants in a greater cosmic story, guided by intelligence, wisdom, and the promise of exploration. Commander Varn, who had once doubted the vessel, finally spoke. "I was wrong," he admitted quietly. "It wasn't about control. It was about learning, about growth, and we've been given a gift." Dr. Rourke nodded, smiling. "Yes, a gift and a responsibility. The universe is vast, and there is much to discover, but we are ready. Together, we will step forward as humans, guided by knowledge, empathy, and courage." The first signals from the distant probe arrived, confirming safe passage, discoveries of new worlds, and potential contact with intelligent life. The excitement on the station was contagious. Humans were no longer limited to the small blue planet they called home. They had been given guidance, insight, and the tools to explore the galaxy responsibly in the days that followed. Humanity began planning for manned missions, expansion, and collaboration with alien civilizations. The lessons of HFY became the foundation of a new philosophy, knowledge combined with wisdom. Exploration guided by morality and growth shared by all. Dr. Rourke often returned to the observation deck, gazing at the stars where HFY had disappeared. He felt a connection to the vessel, a bond that went beyond science or programming. It was a bond of trust, respect, and shared purpose. "Wherever it goes," he whispered, "we will carry its lessons with us." Humanity's journey has only just begun, and as the stars shimmered in the distance, HFY drifted through space, a silent guardian of knowledge and a reminder that the human spirit, curiosity, and cooperation could change the universe itself. Humanity had stepped into a new era, one of exploration, wisdom, and unity. The prototype vessel had returned, guided humanity, and then moved on, but its legacy would shape the stars for generations to come. The future was no longer unknown. It was bright, boundless, and filled with possibility.